Imagine this: a colossal ship creaking under the weight of its own fortune. Gold, diamonds, priceless artifacts, treasure beyond imagination. Now, picture that ship disappearing without a trace, swallowed whole by the depths of the ocean, its unimaginable wealth vanishing into the abyss. This is the story of the Flor de la Mar, a ship that carried not just riches, but the dreams of an empire, and its disappearance remains one of the greatest mysteries of all time. It was the year 1511. The Portuguese Empire, at the height of its power, was extending its reach across the globe. Their ships were dominating the seas, and their soldiers were conquering lands that had been sovereign for centuries. The most significant of these conquests was the Sultanate of Malacca, a kingdom that controlled one of the most lucrative trading routes in the world, linking the East with the West. The spice trade, as well as other exotic goods, passed through Malacca, making it a vital hub for commerce and culture. When the Portuguese, under the command of Afonso de Albuquerque, launched their attack on Malacca, they knew the victory would be monumental. But even they couldn't have anticipated the vast treasure trove that would fall into their hands. Upon capturing the city, the Portuguese soldiers stumbled upon riches so abundant that even the most experienced treasure hunters could only gape in disbelief. Gold bars, jewels, rare spices, and priceless artifacts from the Sultan's palace and the homes of wealthy merchants filled their chests and pockets. This was a king's ransom of unimaginable proportions, a fortune that could change the fate of an entire empire. But it wasn't just about the treasure. It was about what that treasure represented. To the Portuguese, it was not just a symbol of victory over their enemies, but a stepping stone to greater wealth, power, and influence. With this treasure, Portugal could secure its dominance in the spice trade, increase its naval strength, and continue its expansion into new territories. And so, all this plunder was loaded onto the Flor de la Mar, one of the largest ships in the Portuguese fleet at the time. The Flor de la Mar wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of Portuguese naval superiority and the triumph of their empire. But as grand as it was, the ship was far from perfect. Though massive, the Flor de la Mar had one glaring flaw. It was a ship built for speed, not stability. Having been in service for 9 years, it was beginning to show signs of wear. The hull was leaky, and despite being equipped with the latest navigational tools of the time, the ship was known for being difficult to handle. Still, despite its imperfections, the Flor de la Mar was tasked with carrying one of the most valuable cargoes ever amassed in history. Can you picture it? Sailors hurriedly loading massive crates filled with gold, chests brimming with jewels, and delicate artifacts onto the ship. As the treasure poured into the hold, the Flor de la Mar began to groan under the weight. But there was no turning back. The treasure had to be delivered to Portugal. With their mission clear, the ship set sail from Malacca's harbor, leaving behind a city that had once been a thriving center of wealth and power. But as the ship made its way south along the coast of Sumatra, disaster struck. A violent storm suddenly descended upon the vessel. The wind howled, and the waves grew taller, crashing against the sides of the ship with terrifying force. For hours, the crew fought valiantly to keep the Flor de la Mar afloat. But the ship, already weakened by its age and the massive weight of its treasure, couldn't withstand the storm's fury. In the chaos, the ship broke apart, and in the blink of an eye, the Flor de la Mar was gone, taking its precious cargo with it. Despite the best efforts of the crew to survive, only a handful managed to make it to safety. The rest, along with the treasure, was lost forever to the sea. And that, it seemed, was the end of the Flor de la Mar, but it was only the beginning of a mystery that has lasted for centuries. Since that fateful day in 1511, treasure hunters, adventurers, and historians have tried to solve the riddle of the Flor de la Mar. Despite modern-day expeditions, advanced sonar technology, and countless attempts to locate the wreck, the ship and its treasure remain elusive. Some believe the Flor de la Mar lies off the coast of Sumatra, its wreckage buried deep beneath the sands of the ocean floor. Others suggest the ship was swept further out into the Indian Ocean by the violent currents that rage through the region. The fact that no one has been able to locate the wreckage is baffling, considering the vast resources dedicated to finding it. So why has this treasure remained lost for so long? There are several theories. Some suggest that the wreck of the Flor de la Mar is buried under layers of shifting sand and sediment, making it nearly impossible to detect. Others believe that the ship's treasure was scattered far and wide, carried off by the storm or the ocean's powerful currents. Some even speculate that the treasure was intentionally hidden by the crew or locals, who feared the wrath of the Portuguese Empire if they tried to claim it for themselves. But there's another darker theory. What if the treasure didn't just sink into the ocean, but was actively hidden or destroyed to prevent its discovery? Some claim that the ship's wreck is located in a region so treacherous that any attempt to recover the treasure would be met with disaster. Others argue that the treasure was cursed from the moment it was plundered, cursed by the gods of the land, the sea, and the people who once lived in Malacca. Perhaps the ship's sinking wasn't just a random accident, but the result of some ancient and powerful force seeking to reclaim what had been taken. The myths surrounding the Flor de la Mar only add to the allure of its lost treasure. One legend claims that the ship's treasure was so vast, it included artifacts that could turn ordinary men into kings. Another myth suggests that the treasure was cursed, an ancient artifact or relic that brought misfortune to anyone who came near it. These stories, passed down through generations, have fueled the imaginations of adventurers and treasure hunters for centuries. Some believe that the treasure's value goes beyond mere material wealth. One particularly persistent theory suggests that the treasure contains items of immense historical significance, ancient artifacts from Malacca's lost civilizations, perhaps even relics that could rewrite history itself. Imagine what it would mean for the world if such items were found today. Objects that could offer insights into long-lost cultures, forgotten kings, and civilizations erased by time. So, what happened to the treasure of the Flor de la Mar? Is it still out there waiting to be uncovered? Or has it been lost forever, swallowed by the ocean, locked away in the abyss of time? And if it's ever found, what would be the true cost of claiming it? This mystery has captivated generations, but what do you think? Will the treasure of the Flor de la Mar remain lost to history, or will someone one day uncover its secrets? The possibility is thrilling, but perhaps the greatest mystery isn't whether the treasure can be found, it's what would happen if it were. If you've enjoyed unraveling the story of the Flor de la Mar, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We dive deep into some of the world's greatest mysteries every week, and your support helps us uncover even more. Stay tuned. Who knows what we'll discover next?